All right, so this video here is a good example of why I no longer get riled up at so-called police brutality videos, and why I don't just jump on people's causes. You hear something in the news or you read something on social media and you get outraged, really not knowing the facts. That's kind of what people tend to do, and I've learned to not do that. And this video will give a good example why. Okay, so this is a video that was uploaded in 2017. It's uploaded on a channel called The Donut Operator, right? So I'll leave a link to it so you can watch the video, which is him commenting on this video. So the context of this video is that there are two young women in the store who were accused of stealing. And I don't know if they stole or not, or if they're just accused. But the store owner has locked the door and will not let them out. And, he's trying to keep them there until the police come. And there's a crowd of bystanders outside. It's a whole bunch of people outside recording it.
Hit that pussy. Hit that nigga. Alright, all that shit up. Hit that, buddy, going to jail. Fuck him up. Yeah.
See, now, this is the first thing I have an issue with. These women are in there, they're acting a fool. And you have somebody outside, most likely a black person, encouraging them inciting them to violence, encouraging them to do even worse. Oh, you're going to jail. You might as well hit them. Like, you're encouraging somebody, regardless, you know this person or not, or whatever. You're encouraging somebody to do more evil. Like, how stupid is that? And this is what I don't get. And there's a reason why I'm pointing out the fact that he's saying this.
I'ma smack you. There you go. Get this. Yo, hey yo, the police don't care. Hey yo. Hey yo, this America, the cops don't care. Let them out, the cops don't care. Hey, let them out, man, it's America, the cops don't care, let them out. We all black people, they don't care.
See, this is another thing I have an issue with. So not only is there somebody encouraging them and inciting them to violence, then he's saying just let them out. Now here's the thing: if you're the store owner or you are security, what are you going to do? Are you just going to let people steal from your store? Now, I'm not sure if it's legal for him to keep the door shut and all that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the idea that the cops don't care. So if they stole, I should just let them out is just completely stupid. Nobody, you would not let nobody you care about run their business that way. You wouldn't run your own business that way. But yet you're telling him the cops don't care. We're all black. The cops don't care. Just let them out. Now the police are going to show up, and just see what happens when the police show up, and listen to what is said when the police show up.
Yeah, break that shit. Break that shit. Yeah, break that shit. Yeah, break that shit. Yeah, hit that nigga. Hit that pussy. Yeah, hit that nigga. Yeah, hit that nigga. Yeah. Yeah, hit that nigga. Stop. Yo, chill, pop. Shit, fuck on that nigga.
Female, dog.
And see, this is the thing. This is the thing that gets me. See, if you see police beating up on somebody, you'll get mad. But when you see black people fighting, it's just entertainment. You think it's funny. This woman is very likely going to jail. This can escalate very quickly to one of them. What if one of them have a weapon? What if that guy has a weapon? It looks like he got something in his hand. I don't know what it is, but somebody can be seriously hurt. And you're egging it on because you think it's funny. The violence is never funny. This is not funny.
Let them out. This is America, man. They don't care. The cops ain't coming. Let them out.
The cops actually will come.
Let them out. What are you going to get into? He like this shit. He got to pull. Black boy? Black boy like that shit. He is safe. He is solid. Let him out. Let him out, man. This is America. Let him out. Fuck him up. Fuck him up.
So again, you see all these people, they don't care about the situation at all. They don't care about the safety of anybody inside. All they know is they want to go in the store and buy some 5 for $4, whatever rolls or whatever that is. I wonder if that's a 7-Eleven.
Y'all need the key, man. Y'all got to get the key. Yo, I can't let you out. It's locked. It's locked. They got the key. They got the key. They got it. The keys. Hello? Just kick that shit over. The girl walked in there.
All right, I skipped forward a little bit because it was just kind of pretty much the same of what you see here. And the police should be arriving soon. Oh, see, cops out there. So now some of the people disperse. Some of the people disperse. Now, I want you to hear the same one that's been doing all the talking on this video. Watch, just listen to what he says now that a cop is there. See, so you hear this? You hear this? He's keeping them hostage. He's trying to kidnap them. First, he's making fun of the situation with the woman. He's telling the woman to be more violent. He's telling the guy, just let them go. The police aren't coming. The police are there. Now he's portraying the woman as an innocent victim. And this is what bothers me. This is what happens every time there's a situation with a black person and a cop. The black person, regardless of how horrible they may have been, regardless of what they may have been doing, they always get portrayed as a victim. And this just bothers me. So this is why I don't jump on police shootings, and I don't get riled up by headlines, because as I've been finding out, when you read more and more details, when you read the details of the story, you find out there's always much more than the simplified headline that's intentionally written in a way to make the person seem like an innocent victim. And what you're going to see in the rest of this video is that people are going to look at this woman like a victim.
He tried to keep hostage, yo. He tried to keep him hostage. Yo, let him know. He tried to keep him hostage.
So again, now that the police is there, he's trying to defend him, and he's lying. He's sitting there lying, trying to defend him. And he's not the only one.
Yo, he tried to keep him hostage. Don't swing on the cop. Don't swing. Oh, it's a wrap now. Yo, ain't nobody got no video. It's a wrap. Yo, hey, Black Lives Matter. Oh, yeah. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
So now he's yelling Black Lives Matter, and he's obviously, I guess, joking. I don't know if he's joking or not because he's an idiot. But you see the cop take her down. He's being very aggressive with her. And you're going to see some of the people have an issue with his handling of the situation. Now, you have someone who's aggressive. See, here's the thing about law enforcement. When people are aggressive and they're putting their hands up, hands above their waist, and they're pushing you and that sort of thing, that is a sign of aggression. That's a sign of noncompliance. It's a sign of aggression, and you have no choice but to escalate it. And here's the thing: there are two people in the store. He's sitting here wrestling around, dealing with this one chick. The other chick seems to be kind of just around. I don't know if she's I can't remember if she gets involved in this or not. But how many people do you think uploaded this video? All the people out there recording, how many people you think uploaded this video only starting just from right before he grabbed her, right? And then presented it as, look at what this racist cop did or whatever. Now, she was the aggressor. You don't ever put your hands on someone. You don't ever put your hands on a law enforcement officer. You don't do that. You don't have the right to push them. You don't have the right to do any of that because that is a hostile action and they are going to respond accordingly. But again, somebody will post this, and I've seen it happen. People will post just this on and then be like, look how the cops treat us and that sort of thing. You'll even hear the people in the video. You'll even hear the people that were outside cheering the women on and encouraging them to be violent and all of that. You won't even hear them complaining about the cop. So you hear him now. We got you on video. So he's implying that the officer did something wrong, even though the woman has proved to be violent before he even came there. And she basically actively resisted or showed hostile action towards him. Now he's blaming the cop. And you're going to see this through the rest of the video. See, here they go again. Yo, that's crazy. What you doing? Why'd you do that to her? See, as an officer who's dealing with a threat, their purpose is to immobilize a threat or stabilize a threat. So you use whatever force is necessary within the guidelines of the law to stabilize the threat. You don't stabilize a threat, especially when there's another person in the store, her friend or whoever. You don't stabilize a threat trying to have inviting them to sit down and drink tea and then talk with you, especially if they're violent. So he did what he had to do. I mean, this woman was trying to fight him like she was a man. So he did what he got to do. Now he's going to arrest her. And it's weird because those people were encouraging her to be violent in the beginning. And now that the what do you call it? The result of her violence, she's reaping what she sowed, and now they're making her a victim. And this happens almost every time a black person gets involved with a cop. That's why I don't bang with it. That's why I don't bang with it. And this is why our community will never do better, because we have this kind of mentality that as long as it was the woman versus the shop people, they was okay with violence. They was okay with violence. They were encouraging it. Then when a cop come, they make her look like a victim. They try to portray her as a victim. And then when she gets into it with the police officer, they make him seem like an assailant. And Black Lives Matter, and you didn't have to do that. So now they're accusing him of police brutality. So if there was an investigation that went on, and these people were interviewed, what do you think they're going to tell the interviewer? Do you think they're going to tell the interviewer, well, the girl was aggressive and she was violent or whatever? So the officer, He got into a confrontation with her. You know, he might have been a little bit too rough, I think, but you know, he came in and responded to a call, blah blah blah. Are they going to say that? Or based on what they're saying now, or they're going to be like, that chick can't do nothing, man. She was just trying to leave the store and he just came in and grabbed her. Which one you think they're going to say? Which one you think is going to be on the news? So, I mean, that's my whole point. Like, y'all got to stop being so riled up by 20-second videos or headlines where you don't even read the whole story. Not only do you not, it's okay, it's bad enough you don't actually go somewhere else and do research on what happened, but y'all don't even read the story half the time. You just see the headline and get mad. Look at this and listen to these people. See, the thing about justice is, when you want justice, a lot of people don't want justice. They just want their side to win. So now between a black woman and a cop, they're on the black woman's side. So they just want her to win. When it's between a black person and a white person, people just want the black person to win. And then there are white people that just want the white person to win, whatever the situation may be. That's not justice. You got to want justice. You can't just want your side to win. If you want justice, when an injustice is done to you, you got to be consistent and want justice in general all the time. That's the only way justice happens. You can't sit there and egg somebody on to be violent. Then when they get violent, you lie for the person. That's an injustice. You're committing an injustice because now you're accusing the shop owner of probably felonies. I don't know, but you're committing an injustice yourself by you lying and covering for somebody, and then the cops coming, and you're going to perform an injustice by claiming that this is police brutality, and if you upload this without context and all of that stuff, and then if there is an investigation, and you're going to sit there and act like, oh, the woman wasn't doing nothing, he was racist, I heard him say nigger, or yeah, he just threw her to the ground, she didn't even, she wasn't fighting. That's committing an injustice. You think you're doing something right because you're trying to help a black person. Automatically helping a black person is not justice. That's favoritism and racism, actually. And it's just far too often, this is the mentality that people have. It don't matter what the facts are. You can lay out the facts of whatever the case may be. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about the facts. All they care about is that they have made up their mind already that the black person was innocent or the black person was right and the cop was wrong. And it don't matter what you tell them. That's what they want to believe. They're willfully ignorant to the point where they'll go out of their way and vilify the good people who are trying to do their job properly. The security at the store and then the police officer.
Yeah, back up, dude. You're gonna go. Just, dude, chill. There's nothing you can do about it now.
There's nothing you can do about it now. See, why is he laying on her head like that? Why is this? Why is that? Do you think that young woman who was so violent and rowdy and disrespectful, do you think she's just sitting there laying there? Do you think she's just calmly accepting her fate? Or do you think she's still trying to resist and trying to get up and saying all kind of threatening things? This is what I don't get. This is what I don't get. Now you're going to act like the police are the bad people.
I'm telling you, let it go. I'm telling you, everybody just take a step back. You won't be part of that. Fuck that.
See what he's doing? Get the fuck out of here, dog.
So you hear this? You see what he's doing? See what he's doing? She's accusing him of being racist. She's still resisting. And then see what he doing. Get out of here, dog. Now they've turned on the cops. They've completely forgotten. And this is why people used to say it. And I used to get mad. But they used to always say, you got to know what happened before the video started. And now I understand why people say that. They used to make me so mad. And I used to think, you racist. Well, why are you trying to say that? Nothing else matters but the video. Now, had you started the video here, or 20 seconds ago, or a minute ago, and completely missed the context of why the officer was there in the first place, and it paints a completely different story, and that's what people want. And that people do that intentionally all the time, and that's what they want. And then you have people who were literally there, who saw everything, and all they see is a white man exerting force, a white police officer using force against a black woman. That's all they see. They don't see an officer who's responding to a call who encountered a person who was violent and aggressive and who's still resisting. That's not what they see.
Oh, that's what you filming this shit.
He hit me first.
That's real shit.
See, now she's like, he hit me first and all of this, but you don't realize if you show a sign of aggression to an officer, you're showing a sign of aggression. Just like anybody in the street, if anybody in the street gets in your face, or if they gesture certain ways to you, you're going to take that as aggression and you're going to respond. So the idea that you can push a cop around and yell at him and all of this stuff, and he's just like he's a law enforcement officer. That's their job. You don't have the right to just treat them like they're just a random person. Yeah, you have rights. You have rights, but one of those rights is not to treat the law enforcement officer just like the random dude from down the street.
Shit though, you just bumped your head on the floor though, bro. Like dead shit, my man was just mugging her head on the floor, bro.
So again, the channel is from a guy called the Donut Operator. That's his YouTube channel, and I'll send you a link to it. But again, it's just weird seeing that on the screen. So again, also, she's not willing to be held accountable for her own actions. You in the store causing a scene, you destroying merchandise, you threatening the person, you're assaulting the person, the guy that was in the store. She could have sat there patiently and waited for the cops to come, and then had it all explained it to the cops. And if she wasn't stealing, she could have opened up her pocketbook and showed the cops she didn't have what they claimed that she had, and she could have went home. And then maybe she could have filed some kind of stupid lawsuit against the store. Like, that's how you handle things. That's how things go your way. Escalating the situation, especially when you're wrong, is not going to end for you. It's not going to end well for you. And then you're going to do all of that. And then when you want to act tough, and then when an officer puts you down on the ground and everything, you want to act like, oh, he didn't have to. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I've been saying. You can't break the law. You cannot get aggressive and violent and then expect other people to not be aggressive and violent. Or you can't get aggressive and violent and then try to dictate to someone else how violent or they ought to respond to you. When you step out of line, you got to deal with whatever comes after. That doesn't mean that anything that comes after is automatically justified. Like if he put out his gun and just shot her, for no reason or something, I'm not saying that would be okay. But what I'm saying is, as a person who has control over the situation, she could have de-escalated this situation. And even if she was the right one here in the beginning, even if that guy wouldn't let her out of the store and for no reason, and she had a right to leave because she didn't steal nothing and all of that other stuff, she made a decision to escalate the situation. And you got to take what comes after it. Now her dumb ass is in jail. So this is what I'm saying. So many times when people have confrontations with the cops, number one, they don't have these confrontations when they're just hanging out, riding their bike on a sunny day by the lake. No. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they've either just committed a crime or they're committing a crime. So right then and there is your first level of control over the situation, where if you're going to do things that's going to increase the risk of you encountering law enforcement officers, whom you don't know if they're racist or not, you don't know if they're going to do their job or if they're going to be overly aggressive or not, you don't have no control over none of that. All you can control is yourself. But you choose to do things that increase the possibility of you dealing with cops, right? And you already think the cops is racist. You already think they kill black people. They don't value our lives, but you still do dumb stuff to increase the likelihood of you being involved with them. You're an idiot, and you deserve whatever comes after. So then the cop gets there, and rather than complying, she wants to fight and try to argue and all of this stuff. So you got to take what comes after. If you assault an officer, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to subdue you. You know, he's not going to say, put your hands behind your back and read your rights, because you're not complying anyway. You're being aggressive. Then now you got to deal with the cop. You got to deal with this cop. You don't know if this is a racist cop. You don't know if he's a good guy. You don't know if he's just angry because his personal life. And you're just giving him an opportunity to take it out on you because you're being an idiot. If you look at almost all of these police cases, not all of them, but if you look at almost all of these police cases that involve a police officer using deadly force against somebody or something like that, that person, whoever the so-called suspect was or victim, however way you want to look at it, they always have numerous chances to de-escalate the situation, but yet they choose not to. Sandra Bland could have put out her cigarette. Alton Sterling simply could have complied with the police. You know, the guy Stephon Clark, he could have not ran from the cops. Even before that. Now, Sandra Bland, she was pulled over for some nonsense. So, you know, she has nothing to do with that. But all of that could have been avoided. You can only control what you can control. And what you can control, whether it's your right or not, she could have put out that cigarette. Alton Sterling, what he could have done is, number one, not being a felon with a gun, waving a gun at people before the police came, which is why they came there. He could have simply complied when they came. Instead of saying, what did I do? What did I do? Instead of saying, what did I do? What did I do? Alton Sterling, he could have just simply complied with the cops and took in that arrest in those 10 years or whatever he was going to get for being a felon with a gun. So, and then Stephon Clark, he could have not been busting people's windows out their car. He could have not been running through people's yards in pitch black in the night. And, you know, instead of just took the street or something, instead of running through people's private property. And then when the police showed up, he could have not ran and just stood there. And you may say, well, that wouldn't have made no difference. Well, yes, it would have. Because if you're going to run from the cops in a pitch black and they don't know if you're armed or not, and the reports where you had a crowbar or something, if you're running from them and you're running around buildings and then for whatever reason you turn back towards them and you have anything in your hand and it's pitch black, they're going to assume it's a gun. Like they're going to assume it's a gun or a weapon. That's just how they're going to do. That's just what's going to happen. So you could avoid all that by not being an idiot committing crimes. Number two, complying with the police when they get there. You can't control if some officer, because I've seen videos of an officer randomly going up to somebody and punching them, and the person literally is just standing there. I've seen videos of cops doing that, right? And there are cops out there who do that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying that in every case you're going to, you have control. But many of the cases that happen, the person does have control and they choose to escalate the situation. And then when things happen and they go bad, the black community responds exactly like those people did outside that store. Yo, this is crazy. He didn't have to do that. No, that's wrong, man. Come on now. Y'all got to stop. And you wonder why our community don't get better, because you will justify all kind of wickedness that people do. You're okay with wickedness and stuff. You're okay with it. So as long as it's black people doing it, and you wonder why our community never gets better or never changes, because y'all do stupid stuff like this. You act a fool. You make situations worse for yourself. And then the other people who are around you who should care about you don't care about you. They laugh at you and say, look at this idiot. And then when things turn bad, they make excuses for you and make it seem like they don't hold you accountable for your own actions. And that is why I spend so much time challenging black people to control what you can control and stop being victims, because you have a lot of control over what happens to you. There's a lot of things you can't control, but the things that you can control, you need to. And when you don't, you have to deal with whatever the consequences are. And you can't blame that on nobody else but yourself.